Hi, welcome to Bloom Accounting. My name is Joe, and I'm here today with Ben Truscott, a realtor from the Lower Mainland. There has been huge surge in investors investing in real estate recently, and I'd like to ask you some questions.
Absolutely.
Yes. So first, tell us more about yourself.
I'm Ben Truscott. I've been a realtor for coming up on just over 5 years now. I'm based out of Chilliwack, BC, but I work all across the Fraser Valley. I love the Fraser Valley. It's been my home for my entire life, and I'm very happy to make it other people's homes as well. I think there's an endless amount of things to do here. It's a beautiful location for recreation, fishing, hiking, camping. It's the best spot in the world. I've been helping a lot of people recently buy investment properties because of the way the market's been going, low interest rates, paired with high rent. It's turned into an incredibly profitable business opportunity for a lot of companies as well as individuals. I personally think the Fraser Valley, Lower Mainland, especially towards the east in the Abbotsford, Chilliwack, Mission areas, has some of the best return on investments I've seen recently. Chilliwack, for example, recently was in 2021 was the second fastest growing city in all of Canada, only shortly beaten by Kelowna, and we don't see that slowing down anytime soon.
Given today's market, our history of our 2-year pandemic, interest rates rising, gas prices soaring, what are some industry trends you see? And is it a good time to buy?
General rule with real estate is it's always a good time to buy. If you look long term, there's almost no points in history that you can buy a property and it will be worth less in 5 years' time. If you're looking to the future, it is always going to increase. They're not making land anymore. Get it while you can. So recently we've seen interest rates rising pretty considerably, which probably needed to happen considering the rates real estate was going up in price. We saw upwards to 40% increases in a 6-month period. It was fairly unsustainable. It made it very difficult for a lot of people to purchase. So interest rates rising have had an effect of dampening average prices throughout the Lower Mainland and Fraser Valley by upwards to 10 to 15%. And with that, inventory has increased considerably. During the low points in January, February, there was moments where there was upwards to 300 homes on the market for an entire population of 120,000 people. It was impossible to find a home. A lot of buyers felt like they were losing hope. There was multiple offers. There was no chance to get a home inspection or do your due diligence. You just had to do a subject-free cash offer as your only hope to try and buy a home. Those days, fortunately for home buyers, are gone now. You don't see any bidding wars anymore. Inventory is rising. People get a choice from a variety of homes now instead of just having to go to the few available in the entire market. Buying a home now is considerably easier than it was in the new year, and things only seem to be increasing further. They're talking about another mortgage rate interest hike in June in a few days here, so we'll have to see what effect that has.
What are some tips you have for investors or individual home buyers?
I would say the first and most important tip any home buyer can have is to talk to your bank or a mortgage broker immediately. It doesn't matter if you're planning to buy 6 months down the road. Talk to them today. There might be some vital information that they are missing that they need to start working on today. You don't want to find your dream home and then find out you're not ready to be qualified for a mortgage and lose it.
Absolutely, and the banks can hold rates too for a longer period. So the earlier you talk to them, the better rate you'll have, and you have the opportunity to hold that rate.
Another tip I would have is to make sure you talk to an experienced realtor from the location you're planning to buy in. Things can change considerably between one neighborhood to the other. Even if they're 2 blocks away, you can have a $200,000 difference for the same price, depending on what's directly next door or what the future plans for the area are. Having somebody who is aware of what's happening in their city is very important.
It's very true. You see pictures and they can look fabulous on the inside and online, but once you get there and the neighborhood is a different story.
Those beautiful mountain views out the living room window might be a condo in a year.
Right, and that too, future development plans. The experienced realtor will know, such as yourself.
So one of the reasons to get into real estate investing is it's some of the best returns I've seen on any types of investments out there. It's not rare to see upwards to 30 to 35% a year return on your investment capital. One of the benefits is even though mortgage interest rates are rising recently, they're still at a pretty low rate when you look at the historical averages over the last few decades. You can still borrow money at a very low percent, and even if the market increases at the average rate it's been doing for the last 35 years in the Fraser Valley area, it's about 7% a year. If you can borrow money even at 3.5% and put it into an asset that's going to appreciate at 7% while doing nothing, that's another 3.5% of your money that you're gaining for free. On the plus side, while you have a rental property, you have a tenant in there who's making rent payments, paying off the majority of those mortgage payments, which is then going to repay your principal amount. So not only is your property increasing in value, you are also gaining equity by repaying that principal. One of the most important things with a rental property is making sure you have the right tenant. It's important to remember this tenant could be living in your asset for up to 5 to 10 years if they stay steady. So making sure you have the right person right off the bat is incredibly important. Be sure to interview people, check references, maybe even visit them at their current home and see what it looks like, because that's possibly how they'll be treating your property as well. Oftentimes it's worth it to charge less than market rate rent. If you can push for the highest possible rate and try and get $100 a month more than everybody else, that's great that you might cash flow a little bit more at the end of the day, but those tenants are going to be shopping everywhere else looking for a cheaper place to live, and they will be out as soon as they find it. If instead you give them a fair market rate, even a $100 or $200 less than the asking rate, they're going to feel grateful. They're going to treat your home better. They're going to call you less with issues because they're going to feel blessed to have the home they have. The most important part of the investment is the future value of the property, the appreciation you're going to get over the years. So you want to find the right neighborhood, the right building, something that's going to gain increases in value. If it's going up 10% a year, the amount of money you're going to make from that appreciation is far more than what an extra $100 or $200 per month from your tenant is going to provide if you charge over the top rates. It's better to find a long-term steady tenant. Even if you're making $100 less a month, it's going to be more worthwhile in the end to have somebody taking care of your property and happy to be there, not looking for a better deal every month.
What are some ways that you see in your experience that people are coming up with their down payment? Right now, we have the first-time home buyers plan, which is 5%, but for investors, it can go up to 20 to 25%.
So one of the best ways is if you already own real estate for over a year, the odds are it has increased significantly in value with the way the prices have increased lately. There's ways to pull that extra value out of your equity. Talk to a mortgage broker, either through a home equity line of credit, a refinancing. There's ways to get access to that money. So if you can borrow money at 3% and put it into an asset appreciating at 7%, at a minimum you're looking at 4% free money. So the more you can borrow out of your primary home, as long as you can make those payments work, the more you can pull out, the better your investment will be.
If you're investing in a rental property, the interest on the mortgage is tax deductible versus your principal residence. So if you are taking the equity out of your principal residence, you may want to consider a separate loan, maybe a home equity line of credit, just so that it remains a separate chunk that you can trace back to your investment property. Well, thank you so much, Ben, for being here, and thank you for watching. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact either Ben or myself. Have a great day.